Those were the business headlines this hour. We're going to have a look now at what is grabbing headlines here in France. Florence Villeminot is here with a look at the French press.
Melissa.
Good morning. Lots of focus, of course, on Emmanuel Macron. Wednesday, the Economy Minister announced that he was launching a political movement, a move that comes a year before presidential elections, prompting, of course, speculation about this ambitious minister's plan.
That's right. The movement is called En Marche, or Forward, and Macron was adamant that it's neither from the left nor from the right. It's open to anyone who wants to take part in politics. And you can see Libération, the left-leaning paper, saying that essentially Macron is trying to draw pieces from both camps. He likens Macron to someone playing with Legos, actually, taking different colors from different boxes. You can see here they're talking about how Macron is launching his own Lego game, but it's a little bit of a play on words because ego in French means ego. So that is the million-dollar question. What is his ambition here? Is he kind of testing the water for President François Hollande? President François Hollande did, pretty much give him his backing to create this new movement, or is he an ambitious loose cannon? That's what Libération wants to know. What's interesting is Macron hasn't ruled out running in the 2017 presidential election, but he says it's not his priority.
Oh, of course, he's never run for elected office before, but he has proved something of a change on the French political scene. People have a hard time, it seems, placing him.
That's right. Now, officially, he actually doesn't belong to a party, but he is part of the socialist government, even though a lot of people say he's not really putting in place socialist reforms. He's been known for actually shaking up the Socialist Party by touching on very taboo things like the 35-hour working week and working on Sundays. He actually styles himself as fresh blood within a tired political landscape. But critics say he's just rehashing old ideas. And you can see this funny photo montage coming out of Libération that says he's young blood among old geezers. Now, if you know anything about French politics, you can kind of make out who these mixed people are. It's Emmanuel Macron mixed there with, you have Alain Juppé from the Républicains, you have François Hollande and Manuel Valls from the Socialist Party, and you have François Bayrou from the centrist Mouvement Démocratique Party. So you can see Libération saying that he's kind of just morphed into all these
into
people.
all of them. Now, of course, he was relatively unknown only 2 years ago, but he's proved one of France's most popular political figures.
That's right. Even among people in the center and right-wing spectrum of things, Le Figaro, for instance, is actually quite a big fan of his, Le Figaro being the main right-wing paper here. And it points out that Le Figaro today is that some of his harshest critics are actually in the left wing. You can see they say that Emmanuel Macron bouscule la gauche. He's shaking up the left. He's jostling the left. And their editorial is pretty funny today. They actually liken Emmanuel Macron, you can see here, to a prisoner that's escaped. He's broken free from a party that was holding him back. He's leaving behind a socialist party that wasn't ready for his revolution. Now, where is he going, though? That's what Le Figaro wants to know. And they wonder, could he actually maybe even join the right wing now? And at the end of the editorial, it says that if he wants, he could try his luck in the primary for Les Républicains, which is going to be held in November.
Of course, he may have a choice, since the socialists are also thinking, Florence, about whether or not they should be holding a primary in 2017, with the Catholic paper La Croix wondering if it is such a good idea either for the left or for the right.
That's right. Let's take a look at the front page of La Croix. They're talking about 2017, the embarrassment of the primaries, because primaries have been held in France before, both in the left and in the right, but this year it's turning particularly bitter, and the primaries haven't even started. Now, primaries aren't an automatic thing in French politics like they are in other countries.
Relatively new, in fact.
Actually, absolutely, and they're becoming quite a regular fixture in French politics. Now, La Croix says in theory they're a good idea, because essentially they're bringing French politics closer to a kind of direct democracy that a lot of people want here in France, but they're very complicated to organize. And there are all sorts of things you have to take into consideration. Who can vote in the primary? How are they going to vote? Electronic voting, etc. It all gets very complicated, and it can get ugly very fast. And La Croix says that a lot of critics of this primary system fear that French politics could become something like American politics. And we've seen how the primaries in America are going. La Croix says that people in France kind of fear there could be that downward spiral here.
Now, we take a look at the Panama Papers, of course. That's the other big headline this morning. They continue to draw a lot of attention in the press. Now, Le Monde is reporting some fresh allegations about the world of French football.
That's right. Le Monde, of course, has been participating in this major leak. Let's take a look at this article in Le Monde. You can see it. Some of France's top football club owners are juggling with offshore companies. Now, who are these people? Now, you have Valdemar Kita on the left there. He's the owner of FC Nantes. He came up in this leak. He reportedly owns a company in the British Virgin Islands, though he says that it's someone with the exact same name as him. It's not him in this leak.
Which seems pretty unlikely.
He says he has a very common name, though, so we'll see how that plays out. And the other two people here you can see are Margarita Louis-Dreyfus. She owns the Olympique Marseille, and Dimitri Ribolovev, he is the AS Monaco. So their names have also come up in the leak. But let's end with a more positive note about French football. Of course, we have the Euro Football Club that is going to kick off on June 10th. That's in about 10 weeks, which is perfect because Le Parisien is focusing on the 10 host countries, one a week. And you can see that today they're focusing on the Saint-Étienne and its stadium Geoffroy Guichard. Now, what's interesting about Saint-Étienne, it's in eastern central France. It's located very close to Lyon. And Lyon, which is France's second biggest city, is a huge rival of Saint-Étienne, even though they're neighbors. So today you have Saint-Étienne, and in a couple of weeks you'll also have Lyon in Le Parisien.
Florence Vivino, thank you very much. A look there at what is making headlines this morning in the French press, 26 minutes past 7. Take a quick break and I'll be right back with the headlines.